Hello, everybody, and welcome back. So today, I hope you liked the readings from the quadruple twos. No, it wasn't quadruple. It was hextuple twos. Um, the um. I just hope that was a really good readings, but this one's gonna be a deeper reading for us because it's been lingering for decades, and the thing is that a lot of people just speculate that these people died of overdoses or whatever, but there was a interview that I watched about these people that said they were changing culture and they were at the time of their peak. So I'm just wondering, were these actually planned assassinations? And we are gonna have to use the angels and the cosmos for this, because I mean, we need to dig deep for these answers. We need to ask both the angels and the universe for this, because it's just puzzling. And it even happened, I wouldn't say fairly recently, but it happened last decade, which I honestly believe is disgusting. And they say, oh, well, it's a drug overdose, so they died of alcohol poisoning. Sure, but they were also very important icons at their time. So let's angels. Why? What was word? What were they? What was? Let's see, like a bit of the genesis. Oh, immediately. And immediately the two of Raphael, dedicated to creating something wonderful, kindred spirits, stability, efficiency, charges, ambitious plans, the Emperor. I want to dig deep on this. Joy through spiritual growth. Epiphany. High psychic power. The High Priestess. Oh my god. The answers are actually happening right in front of us. The Lovers. And look at that, new beginnings. And it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense, because not 2 and 7 adds up to new beginnings. That's actually part of the. Yeah, my God. It adds up to 9, which is also a number for new beginnings. But immediately what I'm seeing here is that these people were not just changing culture, but they were well, I guess this was part of changing culture. They were starting to open a lot of people's eyes up to the world, and even a lot of people, a lot of boomers at the who were very young at the time, didn't even know what the heck was going on. They just realized that it was all different, but they didn't understand that these beings, that these people, these frontmen and these musicians, they came from a higher realm. And it is funny to know that Brian Jones passed away at 27. However, he was like the founder of the Rolling Stones. Not only that, some of their Rolling Stones songs, if not most of their songs, was about dedication to the devil. So I mean, doing these awful, evil things and glamorizing it. Just, I know Brian Jones was really reckless, but I mean, like, probably because of such things. Because whenever you get into those like dark realms in life, they really take a toll on you. They really just destroy any form of innocence, and ergo, and people don't really know how it happened. Do you realize that all these 27 deaths, they're saying, oh well, because they don't know how it happened. They were just found passed out. They were just found dead. And so what was the hot topic? It was drugs and heroin and all those other things. That was a huge cop-out. That was like the easiest cop-out to get in. But the thing is that they were starting new beginnings. It was like a huge time for love and unity and so many other things. It was music. It was bringing all the universe together. It was a uniting force. They were they weren't just frontmen of or like main cores of their bands and music, but they were the faces of the true revolution. And they challenged the mainstream. They challenged the DS. They challenged everything that the entertainment industry had. I mean, like, these people caused a lot of riots. I mean, the Doors and Jim Morrison, they were punk rock before punk rock was even a thing. The same thing with Janis Joplin. She would do the twerking. She would do so many like provocative things. Very emotional. All she was doing was releasing and showing you do not have to be afraid of these people. To be yourself. Don't. That's what she says. You never compromise yourself. You're all you've got. And the high and mighties don't like that mentality. They don't like you being free. They'll say, hey, and even look. Sorry about that. And even look what's going on. Okay, here we go. You see, Angel of Glory, Guardian Angel of Health, Angel of Power, Angel of Trust, Angel of Discernment, and we'll do one more. Actually, Angel of Young Love. Look at all this. This is all about being better. They were trying to change the culture to be better and be better as humans, be better as souls. These people were the starseeds of their time, but a lot of the boomer generation messed it all up, and all these they botched what they were what the true hippie movement was trying to do. I mean, I understand the hippie and the counterculture was all about free love and free equality and all this other stuff. However, that was just a politicized thing, what the hippies and what the 27 Club was trying to do, especially in the 60s. They were trying to show us that to use the power of our health and glory, and because think of it, health is power. And they were trying to show the true glory is within is not here. The true glory is not through just the entertainment. It wasn't just through these how should I say it? What was being massively promoted, because there were a lot of riots and a lot of protests and all that stuff. But the thing is that they were saying that it's not. This is not how it's how power, glory, and health is not from what you just see. Yes, I mean, they did psychedelics. The 27 Club did. Yeah, they did psychedelics, or they did their own things to ease the pain. But the thing is that the reason why they eased the pain so much and were so passionate was because they were empaths. No, they were old souls, and not many people were familiar with that. And so, but however, the DS and the high mice did see that. They did see, hey, do you know what? We need to create a generation for the downfall of humanity, so that way this doesn't happen again. We need to paint these people as these CTs. Let's say these rumor spreaders. You kind of catch my drift on what I'm trying to say here. I trust that you do. And the young love, having the innocence, and having discernment, and these trying to show people the right path. The concepts and the concepts were very liberating, and it was through young love, and it was through this purity that a lot of the 24/7 Club was trying to show. But however, a lot of they didn't just. I don't think that a lot of the youth culture back then clearly understood what they were trying to show. They didn't understand what they honestly meant, because I mean, if you listen to the Doors, and if you listen to even Janis Joplin, a lot of it is very metaphysical speak. Sure that it's bluesy, and it's hypnotizing, and it's very raspy and passionate and painful. A lot of people loved that because they understood the feeling. However, they didn't understand the message. And however, the high mice understood the message. The high mice realized that they were losing, that people were starting to think for themselves. these lions were turning the sheep into more lions. But do you know what? And now look at what these people have done. They've capitalized on the hippie movement and the concepts, but they used it for personal gain. I mean, like, why do you think taxes are higher? Why do you think it's encouraged to it's like, why do you think that there are perks, and why do you think it's so hard to struggle? Because the thing is that a lot of the boomers use this energy, this youthful energy, to fight what they thought would free them, but it would only factor into their own demise, believe it or not. And the 27 Club, especially in the 60s, knew that was going to happen. But the thing is that they were old souls trying to teach the young souls. And you're like, what is it when you're a young soul? I mean, think of it when you're a teenager. You think you know it all. You think hey, you see this new thing. It's like, oh my god, and you don't know this new thing, but you're so excited, and you think that you know the nuances of it. Oh my god, yeah, I think I understand this, and this, that, or the other. But and then later on, everything just gets destroyed. Yeah, do you know what? The young hearts, the young youthful spirits messed it all up for this. You got the 27 Club and a lot of the hippies and the pure souls. They had the right direction. They just didn't have the right people who were as developed as them to understand what they were trying to say and do. And let's see. And they actually. So let's actually see what else. We're gonna go into a higher realm now. We just went through the heavens. Now we're gonna go through the cosmos. Why were they targeted? What was the nuance, and what was the ultimate goal here? King of Swords. $15. Three of Swords in reverse. Eights in reverse. Eight of Swords in reverse. Page of Pentacles. Seven of Wands. Already, we do see that it was an end of it. It was on the premise of being at the end of an era, regardless, to be honest. It was the end of an era for the High and Mighties. But they knew that that they couldn't let that happen. And the king of, and especially with the king of swords, Heracles, that's it all of this culture, the culture war was also a very physical war for a lot of people. And when how should I say this? The Mighties knew that they were going to get that they were in against this, so they knew exactly what was they knew what was going on. They knew that they knew that the 27 Club was going to start a new beginning and start the culture, and this is exactly why they did this, because I mean the people were starting to become extremely brave. They were starting to fight against the Mighties. They were giving the finger to them, and you cannot do that. You cannot do that against the Mighties. They tried to do it, but do you know what? Eventually they were doing this. So they actually, and look at over here, 15, the devil, the black hole. It was they understood that the 27 Club was liberating people, and so the Mighties over here with this, they tried to erase that. They tried to erase that, and you can make sure that you cannot have these freedoms. You cannot be brave. So what do we have to do? We have to get rid of them. And the thing is that even though we have the Three of Swords in reverse, that actually brings up hope, because I mean the 27 Club was giving people hope. It was starting. It was the age of a new era, in the age of just so many amazing things happening to us, and the 20. This is like the Eight of Swords, an age of being oppressed and trapped in every manner. They were, but it's in reverse, so it was liberating. The 27 Club was liberating people. It's like, why do you think nowadays there are podcasters that are being smeared as right wing, and they're saying, oh, these are like far right extremists? This is exactly what they did back then, 50 years ago and prior. And even to Amy Winehouse, which wasn't even 50 years ago. That was like what was it, 2011? So yeah, almost like about a decade ago, a little over a decade ago. These people stood for like legit liberty, and the Mighties infiltrated it, infiltrated the hippie movement, infiltrated this, and they created this these culture wars, so that way they can gain a lot more money and a lot more trust in the system, because and that's what freaking even though I'm not on board with what he's the way he said it, but Jim Morrison would shout out, you're all a bunch of slaves. And do you know what? That is a lot of there's a lot of truth to that, and there are a lot of people who slaves, and people didn't understand. People didn't understand what he was trying to say. Sorry. sorry. They thought that he was like, oh well, you're being us. They didn't understand it. They said, hey, we weren't slaves, or they're not this. No, no one's oppressing us, or we're not. We don't have any masters. That's not what he was saying. Sure, maybe not in the physical sense, but in the metaphysical sense, he basically was saying, you're following the herd. You're not thinking for yourselves. And that's what the 27 Club really tried to do. They tried to have a lot of people think for themselves. But do you know what and do you know what that is? That is a recipe for the high and mighties wanting your head. When P45 tried to do that, say, you know what, you do you. The governor of Florida, he's saying, you know what, you do you. You do this. I mean, you'll have freedoms all under the law. We're not gonna allow these people to infiltrate our freedoms. You go about your own path. We're not letting these crazy radicals you do this. You take over what you should be. You should be whatever the heck you want. You should be whoever you want. You do you. Just don't do harm to others. But do you know what? That doesn't bode well with the high and mighties. I mean, look at what's going on. They want the Florida governor's head. They're saying, oh, he's the evil one. He's the one who's killing it. It's like all these smears. Little do they, and those are all cop-outs. They are all cop-outs. They do not, and a lot of people just suckle that in. A lot of the people who think that they're doing the right thing are not doing the right thing. They're doing the right thing because they're doing what's said is the right thing. And Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, all the others, they said, you're not. You're not doing the right thing because it's popular. The right thing, more often than not, is not popular. And that's true. Why do you think it was the counterculture? It was because it gave people so much meaning, and they were changing the cultures, and they were really refreshing it, and it wasn't under the. They kind of foresaw the big restart, if you know what I'm trying to say there. They foresaw this. But a lot of people just didn't, they're very, they only see what's in front of them. They only see, they try to be these spiritual beings, but do you know what? They don't know how to process it. And they misinterpret all of it, and some of them even weaponize all this because it's like, oh, well, Spirit says this, oh, well, we're using this, and so they kind of use these things to push their agenda, or they misinterpret what the main message is. And the thing is that it's led to the downfall of civilization, and it's created a lot of what the high and mighties craved. Especially, because the thing is that a lot of, I don't want to encourage drugs here. I'm not saying, but a lot of psychedelics and a lot of natural remedies do help you get into that. And LSD was lab made. It was kind of made to, sure, it was taken, it was like almost like to the, it did help people with some spiritual enlightenment, but it wasn't to the same, I wouldn't say it wasn't to the same extent, but it made, it led to some of the biggest destructions to the hippie movement. It destroyed, because the high and mighties knew what was happening. They knew what was about to happen. There's no money in there's no money and power for the high and mighties if everybody breaks away free. They in the 27 Club really tried to liberate and open the eyes of these people, and that's the thing. I mean, even with the Seven of Wands, the Seven of Wands really the Seven of Wands just like indicates extreme magic and extreme not just magic, but just they it represents the galaxies colliding with each other. The star seeds and all of these other people, that was the era, and the government and a lot of the high and mighties, I was about to say something different, but the high and mighties saw that we were on the brink of being evolved enough to see the star seeds, like for real. But they had to make sure that that couldn't happen. The high mighties don't want us to evolve. And that is exactly why they abused the hippie movement. They abused and had these a lot of men and a lot of women. You say, oh well, we need. It was they tried to capitalize on the freedoms, but little do they know. Little did the hippies and a lot of people who caved in know that it was just going to factor into their own demise, because look at the cost of living right now. Look at the cost of how much of what's going on. Sorry sorry about that. Good Lord. But sorry. That was yeah, sorry about that. But we were so on the brink of seeing the starseeds, and these people really think that they are enlightened. A lot of the boomers, and they try to do it under the guise of fighting for your freedoms and fighting for your rights. Little do they know that it was a fight for their own. The high and mighties infiltrated those topics and used and weaponized it to factor into the youth's own demise. Why do you think Gen X and Millennials really didn't have the future the same way the boomers had it? Because they caved into the high and mighties narrative. Because they said, hey, follow us and we'll do this, and they infiltrated the hippie movement, and the hippies didn't see what was coming. You can at least not all of the hippies, but a vast majority of them who caved in and became yuppies, the sellout hippies. There are still hippies from the generation back then that are still. Oh my god, this is so ridiculous. But no, I've met some hippies these days that didn't sell out, and they knew what was going on. They know that what's going on right now, what the High and Mighties are doing, and the Leatherheads especially, they did whatever they could, but the thing is that the Leatherheads won. Now the Leatherheads are losing. They are losing the war, because it took about 50 years, but it's starting to come around again. I just pray to Yah and to God, all this universal energy. I pray to the star seeds that the second wave hippies who are fighting for freedom and you're fighting for independence, so that way we're not contrapped under and not under the thumb of the High and Mighties. Yoga starts, and do you know what? Immediately, it's the Seven Star Sisters rebirth. I mean, like, this is exactly why once again, it 2 and 7 adds up to 9. This new starts, new beginnings. The courageous Peony. Let's see what else. I mean, trust the timing. Star family. Oh, wow. Water your garden. That's 5. Let's see what it is. The cosmic heart. This is what, back then, I don't think people, especially the boomers, understood what the true hippie and freedom meant. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. They just wanted to be part of something different. It was just all about belonging, all about wanting to fit in, and oh, these people won't listen to me. These it's just they were a bunch of young and lost souls, and the souls who were strong, the souls, the 27 Club, were the teachers. But do you know what and they were teachers at a young age, because they went through chaos, they went through traumas, they went through hell when they were younger. But right now, we've been going through a lot of turmoil, and there are still people who've gone through a lot of turmoil, who were disabled. Back then, if you were disabled and you had autism and stuff like that, people didn't realize that. People said, "Oh, you're weird. Oh, and they just disregarded you. And a lot of people just didn't understand it. Now, fast forward 50 years, we don't have a complete understanding of certain disabilities, and we don't have a complete understanding of spiritual enlightenment, and we don't have a complete understanding of what Morrison and Joplin and Hendrix were trying to tell us. A vast majority of it, but some of us do. Some of us knew all along. But the thing is that just a lot of people were not ready. Still, a lot of people are not ready. But there are more people than not who are ready these days. That are ready for this legit change, what the hippies back then were doing. And now that we have social media and ways to survey and have surveillance all over the place, think of the channel PV, Project, I'm not gonna say it, but they're doing, like, a lot of these people who are being smeared as conspiracy, as not these rumor spreaders, let's just say. Oh my God, I might get demonetized. I don't think I'm big enough yet to be monetized yet. But the thing is that the reason why, and look at what's going on. Now they can't assassinate them, but they can destroy their livelihood. They may not be able to kill people, but because everything has access through their phones, and everything's being tracked. That even goes for the high and mighties. Everything they're doing is being tracked, so they know deep down inside they can't get away from what they once did, because it would be all over the news. It would be all over the news, and people would just be going livid, because the high and mighties know that they're on thin ice. They try to use all this camera to benefit them, but all of this stuff is backfiring on them. You see, like, they thought that they can try to surveil and infiltrate our cameras and the utilities that we use, because they're the ones that created it. However, it's all going to backfire on them, and the trueness of this, the truth, and what the 27 Club was trying to show us, and what they got assassinated for. These people were assassinated, yes, under the guise of, they were druggies, and it was just the times, that everybody was doing drugs, and they just happened to be the ones that, like, no. These people were huge in changing the world. They were the true starseeds. They were the ones who were calling for the true restart, the fresh restart. But right now, a lot of the boomers and a lot of the other silent generations, if they're still alive, they're still not embracing this, and and there are still boomers who are way up in the high and mighties are boomers in silent generation. If anything, those are the ones who are still trying to get us by between the things between our legs. And if you're a woman, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, male parts. But right now, there's a lot of truth, and all these people are starting to we're trying to cancel truth speakers, and a lot of the 27 Club were truth speakers. And even look at this: be fearless. This is how we can, and how this is what they were teaching us, and this is what we need to do, because we can become what the 27 Club and what the hippies back then were trying to be. This is, we have to go on these sacred journeys. Again, and trusting our intuition. We're starting, our intuition is growing now. A lot of the people who are obeying the high minds by saying, "Oh, there is no God," follow the you know what the word is. They're blinding you and trying to say that there is no higher power, there is no because they want you to remain as the sheeple as the 24, not the 24, why am I saying 24/7? The 27 Club was trying to break you out of, but do you know what? The high mighties still don't want you to do this. They want the power for see, the high mighties don't want you to be a free spirit. The 27 Club did, and they were freeing people. They were increasing people's intuition. They were giving people these sacred journeys through their music. I mean, people were trying to say, "Oh, well, it's like it's for like loaded people and people who are getting wasted and trashed." You know what? And you know what? It's taught us patience too, and it's like we need to be patient as well, because everything is starting to unfold. We are becoming this. And look at the final card, Cosmic Connection. These people were gotten rid of because they were teaching us this last one, this very cosmic connection. Through their music, through their pain, through all of this, it was labeled as druggy music, but it went beyond that. They were just like experiences, spiritual experiences, and there were some people who were breaking away from that. They were starting to do like meditation. They were starting reliance. They were more into gardening. They were starting. They were more into F the government, F the establishment, F all of these people who are trying to hold us down. But then they became extremely weak and just sold out. And I'm not talking about the 27 Club. The 27 Club were assassinated because they were the spirit leaders. They were the ones who were trying to show us the way. But the thing is that once again, they died at 2:27, 2 and 9. 9 is the number of new, fresh beginnings. And the thing is that they were trying to make the new beginning. They were trying to make everything very independent, very pure, very amazing. The high mighties didn't want that, but it was a big mistake on their behalf and it might have been calculated. It might have been calculated for them to be assassinated at 27. But the high mighties really didn't understand that it was the start of a new beginning, because the people like me and so many others who are in touch of what the 27 Club was trying to show and trying to present, and we're talking about the unabridged versions. They were trying to teach us the ways of freedom, the ways of just like purity. At a young age, these people were a lot more evolved than a lot of people give them credit for. But do you know what? The high mighties knew that already. The 27 Club were already in touch with the with the cosmos. They were the true free spirits. They were the ones who were trying to free everybody. Just but do you know what? They the ones who thought that they were fighting for their freedoms were fighting for their own imprisonment. Because when you turn freedom into a right, it's no longer freedom. It's because it's going to be regulated. They didn't want regulation. They didn't want they were the true people of like practicing the First and Second Amendments. Just be you, be free, do what you can, say what you want. The government and the high mighties can't do anything. But do you know what, man? It was just misconstrued for a lot of the boomer generation. They didn't know what to make of any of this. They thought they did. The silent and boomer generations thought they knew. They really didn't. A lot of the hippies became yuppies. They sold out. But now there are a lot of generations, including mine, millennials, who are millennials and Xers and even Zoomers. They're picking up where the 27 club and the people who didn't sell out, souls like them, they're picking up where they left off. And that's why you can see this is why the high mighties nowadays are they're going nuts, to put it in best words. But they were assassinated. In short, they were assassinated. They tried to show us the ways. Lots of people were not ready for it. But I think more people than not, it took 50, 60 years. But do you know what? Now, the boomers may have not been ready for it, but Xers, Yers, and Zers were ready for it. And there's too much surveillance for all of us to be assassinated. They're trying to do it through cancel culture these days, because they know they can't get away with murder. But no, they're always going to be, the high mighties are always going to be like this. If you challenge them, and if you try to lead the counterculture, they'll call for your head. And some of us are willing to take that risk and be real progressive and fight for legitimate freedoms and say, do you know what? I'm okay if I'm executed. I will sacrifice myself for the freedoms of the people. Hopefully there are people who are doing it, and there are. I would say, and I don't want to stroke my own ego, but I don't want to toot my own horn. That's what I meant to say. But I'm one of those as well. I'm more than willing to sacrifice my life and speak out against this to liberate all of us. And I have friends who are willing to do that as well. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be tragic. It might be a tragedy for some people, but do you know what? Just understand it's going to be justified by the high and mighties and just smeared, saying, "Oh well, they were this, they were that, so and so." Do you know what? They're not going to be able to get away with that for much longer, because people are starting to really waken up. The third eye is starting to open for a lot of people, and you know, hopefully the cycle, the war cycle, will end. The high and mighties will be I wouldn't say be destroyed, but at least be dethroned and dismantled, because only then will we be able to be ready to see and be closer to a lot of the star seeds and the indigo people, indigo children, and all that stuff. The 27 Club were those sorts of souls. We just society wasn't ready for them. But I believe now we are starting to become more ready and more ready and more ready than we ever have. Lots of us are not, but there are still, but there are more who are ready than there were 50 years ago. And I'm sorry, and I'm going to shout out to this wonderful and I'm saying this facetiously, this wonderful spiritual leader, Marianne Williamson, who is telling us who and what are the dark psychic forces, and who and what are... Do you know what? Don't listen to people like that. She's weaponizing that, and you know what? A lot of boomers know how to weaponize good intentions. Boomers and silent majorities feed off of good intentions, and they weaponize all that for their own agendas. And Xers, Yers, and Zoomers see that. Well, you know what? Even though... Do you know what? That fresh start, the new beginnings, has started. It's starting, it started 1 or 2 years ago. And what the 27 Club tried to do and tried to show us, it's finally coming to fruition. And the high and mighties don't like it. We need to keep at this. We need to keep fighting. We need to keep... Not just, and I don't mean fighting, because you can peacefully fight. You don't need to be... I'm saying fight through words and energies. Don't fight through violence. Don't fight through violence or through riots or whatever. That's what the high mice think that fighting is about. It is not. But, they were right, and there are going to be reincarnated people, and there are going to be people who are going to basically pick up where the 27 Club left off. There are going to be reincarnations of them, and the high mighties are not going to like it. But do you know what? Just understand that if you conform to what the high mighties are doing, then you're not on the right side of history, and you never will be. And we need to restart. We need to freshen everything up. And sorry if I'm going on a tangent, but we need to pick up where the 27 Club left off. And we're very close to that. We're very close to enlightenment. We're very close to enrichment. We're very close to it. And again, the high mighties don't like it, but we're almost there. And yeah, they were planned assassinations again, but they're not going to get away with it anymore. Thank you so very much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe so the echoes expand.